it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I have got a variation on a theme of this project. I don't know if you can see that it is covered in glitter. Well, I say covered. Can I get glitter to glitter? Possibly. Anyway, there is glitter on it, so our dazzling diamonds. There are two reasons why I want to show you this. A, because it's a great technique, how to get the stamping in the background, because this is an embossed image. I hope you can see that. The trouble with filming at this time of the year, there we are. There's the embossing. So this is the good old, one of our absolute favourites, Woodland Textured Embossing, Textured Impression Embossing folder. And I have got depth of field by stamping in the background. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But the reason I chose this particular setup for this card is because if you like Dashing Deer and Winter Woods, these are both carrying over from the Autumn Winter catalogue. They are both in bundles, but they will not be available at the bundle discount price after the 2nd of January. So after the 2nd of January, they will be a separate stamp set and a separate set of dies. So instead, the only thing that is going and is reduced is the wood for the Dashing Deer stamp. So if you want the wood stamps and the dies, you need to buy them as two separate items now before these have gone, before the wood stamps have gone. If you want the clear mount and the dies, you need to get them before the 2nd of January, and you need to get them as the bundle, because then you save 10%. So that's the first one. The second is the Winter Woods. These are carrying over. The wood is going but is not reduced. So if you want either the wood or the clear mount, but you also want the dies, then you need to get them before the end of the 2nd of January as a bundle, because otherwise you will be paying more. So just so you are clear with that, if you want the bundle price, the 10% off, even if the individual items are carrying over, the bundle price won't be. So there we go with a sneak peek of what we're going to be using now. So let's start with, I used Whisper White card, and I've stamped inside Happiest Christmas Greetings because it's sort of Christmassy, and I used Soft Suede for the trees and Crumb Cake for the deer. This time I'm going to be using this lovely new stamp set, which is called Let It Ride. This is absolutely perfect for anyone who is at all horse orientated or outdoorsy, but yeah, pretty much anyone. You can actually, and if I can work out exactly how to do it, and I did watch it, you can turn this into a unicorn. Just saying. So I'm going to see if I can do that. Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stamping Up, did a demonstration of how to do it at Onstage in Orlando in November, which feels like about a year ago, and it was absolutely stunning. So really nice sentiments. We've got Let It Ride, Take Life by the Reins, Live as if someone left the gate open, Go for it and For You. So I wouldn't just say people who are into horses, I would say anyone who's outdoorsy, but some really nice inspirational sentiments anyway. So the main thing is, of course, how do we do this technique? So I'm going to use early espresso again, but this time I'm going to use very vanilla. I had buried, good grief, where have I put it? The embossing folder. Would you believe I cannot see for the life of me my embossing folder, which is kind of important. I can see the packet it came from. There it is. I've buried it under the early espresso card base. Right, so it's a 6x6 embossing folder. There's one side that has got the trees debossed and one side that's got them embossed. it's the debossed side you want. Now, there is a bit of a thing with this. I think it's made upside down. I think it should be that way up, as in the hinge should be here, but it's not. So we're just going to go for it. But this is the side that you want to have face up for this technique. So it's the side that has got Stampin' Up and Sizzix on it. I'm using the trees and the 2 horses. I'm using Mossy Meadow, and I'm using Crumb Cake again. And I'm just going to work on, this is my standard 3 7/8 by 5 5/8 card base. So I'm going to be working kind of in that, which side shall I go actually? Let's see. I think I might work this side. This side. No, I'll go this side. So I'm going to work on this side. So this is the edge of my image, if you like. So we'll start with the trees. So these are quite small. So we're going to put them a long way in the background. I've got them on a C block. They probably need to go on a D block, but I'm not too worried. I can just turn the block. And the key with this is that they don't have to be absolutely bolt upright straight. They just have to be kind of here. So I've got 2 lots of trees and background. Don't need my Mossy Meadow anymore for the moment. And then I've got my soft suede, which I'm going to use for the horses. And these I'm going to bring further forward because I see these as being more in the foreground. And I want to make sure that I get their heads onto a flat bit as opposed to a gap. So that's everything we need. The next thing to do is to grab your piece of cardstock and pop it in your embossing folder and then just run the whole thing through your Big Shot. And I'm bringing it as far up as I can because I want these as far up the card as I can get them. So that is going to be like that. So I'm just going to run that through my Big Shot, which is just off to the side here. Now for this you just want your basic Big Shot platform without the thin die adapter and 2 cutting pads. And as if by magic, we have our horses behind our trees with the trees in the background. And then all you need for this to clean it up is your chamois, and that will clean that up really nicely. My chamois is it's not in a disgusting state, it's just very stained because I've had it a while and they just, build up a stain. But if you've been watching me for any time, you'll know that I think of that as clean dirt, not dirty dirt. It's a stain. It's not going to go anywhere, it's just stained. So that's that. I'm just going to leave that to dry for a little bit. I could be cleaning my what's the word I'm looking for? Stamps, but I'm not going to, not just yet. So this is going to be non-Christmas, but it's going to be winter. And all I'm going to do is live as if someone left the gate open, or shall I do live as if someone left the gate open. And I'm going to show you how to mount your new cling stamps, because these are cling stamps. You may have noticed that I've got pictures, which is how I knew that my horses were going to be in the right place. So your standard sheet, you've got your stamp, just peel the paper off the back, the protective paper off the back, and then with your sheet, shiny side up, so there's a sort of matte or satin side, and then a shiny side, you can just split the piece of paper that's over the bit that you want, and just making sure you've got your stamp the right way up, just line it up into that hole, press it down well from both sides, and then just very gently peel it up, and there you have your nicely mounted cling stamp. So I will pop that back in there so I know where it is, and grab myself a rather large And, eeny, meeny, I think we'll go for Mossy Meadow for no good reason, other than I fancy going for Mossy Meadow. So ink that up, and it's quite a novelty in my life to actually be able to see through a red rubber stamp. Well, see where everything is. So live as if someone left the gate open. Perfect. Okay, so pop that ready to be cleaned. Get rid of those. Right, now, this should now be dry. And by dry, I mean the ink just takes a little while to sort itself out. I've got my Dazzling Diamonds, and all I need is some of our multi-purpose liquid adhesive. Now, the key to this is you've got branches that are obviously the same branch, so here. So what I tend to do is find the top, and preferably some glue that's running. Oh, there we go. And just follow the line of where that branch would go if it was a solid, you know, just one, if all it was that branch, and just follow it through. And just think about, if this is going to be a frosty, wintry scene, think about where the frost or the snow would settle, and that is where you want your glue. And some, you see this one, I'm going to think goes behind the tree. This one obviously is standalone, so don't just automatically think that everything's going to be in front. And then on the other bits, just scribble so there's just a little bit of glue, but just be aware where you've got your straight lines for other bits. Now we're going to have some frost on the ground as well. And probably on the trees that are in the background. So just, as I say, just add where you think there would be either frost or snow, whatever it is that you are thinking of. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. Just, as I say, just a scribble. So that's that, and then grab your Dazzling Diamonds, and remembering where you've got glue and where you haven't, just run Dazzling Diamonds all the way over your image, and then with it in your pot, or over whatever it is you're collecting your leftovers in, just flick, and there we have our nice glittery image. So that is now obviously going to be wet for a while. If you're at, when you're doing this at home, I would suggest you leave that to dry. However, let me just flick it into a bin so that we've got the worst of it off. I'm just going to have to go with the flow. So I've got my early espresso, hopefully cut to size, yes. What I haven't done is score it, but that's all right. We'll just fold it in half. So this is half a sheet of A4 that I have just cut in, well, half a sheet of A4 that I'm just going to fold in half to make a standard A6 card base. So we'll pop our sentiment inside, and I'm just going to use some snail for speed. Apparently not, because my snail has just run out, and I don't think I have a spare instantly to hand. Possibly, yeah, I do have a spare. So, oops, one that's running nicely would be good. So just pop that on the inside of your card. And then this we're going to add to the front. Now what I'm just going to do is see where I'm likely to end up with glue, and I'm going to put my snail where I think the outside is going to be. Now what I would actually do if I had the time to leave this to dry is use the multi-purpose liquid adhesive again, because then I can catch all of the bits that are raised. I wouldn't normally use this amount of snail, but because I need to get adhesive on the bits that are flat rather than embossed, I am rather overdoing the adhesive for demonstration purposes. But there we are. So a fun little project with that shadow stamping. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe to my YouTube channel, there is a subscription button down in the bottom right hand corner. If you want the dimensions, a list of the products, I can't obviously list this as an item number straight to my online store until the 3rd of January. But I will list this side and the basic stuff, and we'll have some close-up photographs. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.